television. Here we go.
In the morning, WSM. This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Well, welcome in. It's the Simply Superior Acuff House studio that is home to WSM Radio and our museum exhibit, interactive museum exhibit, which you can be a part of behind the airwaves when you buy your Opry tour ticket. And what a year to do that. 100 years of WSM Radio, the Grand Ole Opry, and at times on the road, the life of Shawn Camp. How long have I been out here, boys? About 100 years, Shawn. Yeah, I knew a long time I'd been out here, yes. So we'll get to that on the Assembly Food Hall stage.
It has to be there are days where you're like, what state am I in again? Where am I? Did we pass the state line? And is there a Buc-ee's close? Because I need to get some Coke and go to the bathroom.
Yes,
There
that
you
could
go.
be taken many ways. I remember the first time I ever saw a teleprompter on stage because I was sitting kind of kitty corner to the stage for Fleetwood Mac, and all the teleprompter said at the beginning was Nashville.
Oh, to let them know.
Because you don't want to say the wrong city.
Yes.
I remember famously Seals and Crofts coming to Louisville Gardens and saying, it's so great to be here in Knoxville tonight.
No, they did not. Oh.
At the height of their career, I mean, they were on fire.
Nothing kills the vibe more.
Well, let's just say it was a less than warm reaction to that.
Oh, I'm sure. I am absolutely sure.
There was a bit of a rivalry between Lexington and Knoxville, even though the show was in Louisville.
Oh, man. Oh, well, we got lots of stuff talking in entertainment. Let me tell you, Margot Price on the Opry in Loretta Lynn's dress. If you missed it, we've got pictures. How it fit her so perfectly is beyond me. It looked like it was
Are you
tailored.
mad?
No, I was just so impressed because, the cut of those dresses in the 70s is so different.
But you wanted one. You looked at it.
100% I want one.
I want that. I'll fight you for that dress, Margot Price.
I'll get Taylor on the phone. I might get one thigh in there.
2 out of 3 falls.
No, I don't.
Cage match.
I don't think I could get. I might get like an arm and one leg, maybe, but that's about it. Because Loretta was so little.
It's a look.
Well, I could just see it ripping up the back, and then I'd never forgive myself. Also coming up, Kelsey Ballerini. She is going to be making her debut down at PBS Austin City Limits, but she popped up in Dallas. We got a little video from that. And inside Lainey Wilson's house. It's all over the internet. She took us on a tour. We're going to show you what was inspired by the Jungle Room. And I knew you'd get excited. I knew you'd get excited about that. I knew. And also her favorite item in her closet. So stay tuned.
Okay.
Shawn Camp with the ghost of Sis Draper got a hell of a bull arm on her. Hang on.
From WSM Radio, this is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
The part of Buffalo Bill Cody, my name, and his Wild West show, The Congress of Rough Riders of the World, will be played by Shawn Camp.
Come on in. He's ready. He's rolling up his sleeves.
I'm working on it.
I hadn't seen you in a while, and when I did see a picture of you with some artwork for new music that we're going to feature this morning, I went, man, you got to take that show on the road.
I don't know, man.
You got to start doing shows.
I got to learn to ride a horse. Every time I get on a horse, I remember I was about 5. I got on a Shetland pony, and it ran behind a barn, and the pony came out the other side without me. My mom and dad went out there, grabbed me out of the dust. We were out in, where were we? Colorado, out in Colorado somewhere. My dad was working out there. And we moved around all over the place.
So,
That's why we have stunt doubles, Sean.
Stunt doubles,
Make
that's
it look
right.
real good in the film.
I looked
right?
great going behind the barn, and then on the other side there's the pony.
But anyway, it's a great look.
Thank you,
last
man.
saw you as Kelly and Charlie did backstage at Jeannie Seeley's farewell, the
That's
memorial
right.
we did, and first time I'd seen you in person in a while.
I know you didn't recognize me for a while. I did a little movie, a big movie to me. It's a big movie. It's called The Legend of Van Dorn, but my part was like 3 minutes long. I grew this out for about 3 months for 3 minutes on the silver screen, But it's like, it was fun, man. I enjoyed it.
Tell me about Van Dorn. Give us a little insight.
Legend of Van Dorn. I played General Pemberton is his name, and it's I just had an argument with Van Dorn in the movie, And
historical fiction?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I think it was probably pretty accurate, the storyline, but I'm not sure when it comes out, so I shouldn't even be talking about it. But that's what instigated the long hair.
That's right.
I just haven't been to the barber. I go through spells. I've had like 3 incarnations of being a long-haired hippie in my life. This is the 3rd one. I may have lost count. This may be the 4th one.
Well, the general led the Army of Mississippi from December 1862 to July 1863,
Right.
and was the commanding officer during the Confederate surrender at the siege of Vicksburg.
Well, I got to bring that up.
There we go.
Here in the
And
South.
and
the
you know-
surrender. You got to bring up the surrender, right? Appomattox Courthouse.
Thanks
and
so
all
much,
that.
man.
That's what I'm
Thanks.
here for.
Too soon. Too soon,
Yeah,
Charlie. Too soon.
Pemberton's the one that gave up Vicksburg. All right. And my great-great-granddaddy was from down there in Mississippi and fought in the 2nd Mississippi Cavalry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where'd you shoot the movie?
In Columbia, Tennessee.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So how does a boy from Arkansas get to be a movie star?
Well, man, I just got lucky, I guess.
Did somebody contact you and you sent them a tape or what?
Yeah, my buddy Alan Dysert, I used to take acting lessons from him. He has a great school down in south of Nashville a little ways, and he remembered me from 25, 30 years ago or whatever, and called me up and asked me. He was producing the show, so I ended up getting on there. It was fun. But
How many days did you shoot? Your part?
my shoot was one day, but I was out there several days on the set.
You're the one on the Shetland pony.
I was rounding up the Shetland ponies. I stayed off of the horses.
What were the nerves like for you versus the first time that you went out and played live in front of a crowd?
It's pretty similar, probably.
Yeah.
But it's no different than this. There's cameras everywhere in here, so it's not a big deal, really.
They're just giving you words there.
Yeah.
And you got to remember the words again.
Yeah.
That's
That was
the hard
kind of
part.
the, if it's a song, if there's a melody to it, I can remember it pretty well. But just remembering dialogue's kind of a trick for me. But
Oh, I get that.
anyway,
Yeah.
but enough about that movie. I got a new album coming
Yeah,
out,
you
man.
do.
Look out now.
Tell us all about it.
Well, I spent a lot of time writing songs with Guy Clark, a hero and friend of mine. And
I'm curious, what was the first one you ever wrote together?
it's a song called Stop, Look, and Listen. I was on Warner Brothers at the time, and they asked me if I could write with anybody. This was like 93. If I could write with anybody in town, who would it be? And I said, how about, Guy Clark? And I was just shooting for the moon. I didn't even imagine. And within about a month, I was sitting across the workbench from him, and we wrote that song called Stop, Look, and Listen, or Cowcatcher Blues. And it's kind of got elements of Texas and Arkansas in it, and we just kind of had a good day. And I didn't bother him anymore because I knew he was bombarded by young kids trying to write songs with him and wasting his time. And then we went to our buddy Jim Rooney got married to his wife Carol, and we were both at the wedding, and he's standing outside smoking a cigarette. As I'm leaving, he goes, Shawn, when you going to come over to the house and write another song with me? I said, well, hell, I'll be there tomorrow. So I went over there, and then we hit it off and started writing, and I don't know how many songs we wrote, probably about 30 songs or something, over the years, but we got stuck, and I got to talking about this lady I knew in Arkansas named Sis Draper, and she was a great fiddler, and my grandpa and my Uncle Cleve, they talked about her all the time before I ever laid eyes on her.
And they feature in the lyrics of the song for people who don't know Sis Draper.
Sure, yeah. And this new record's called The Ghost of Sis Draper. It comes out September 12th, but we were just sitting there talking, not able to write anything, and I started describing this lady to him, and he leans back and takes a drag off a cigarette and goes, there's your song right there. And so we started writing. We wrote that song, and the next song we got in there, whittling on, it ended up being the next song in the sequence of, Magnolia Wind was the song. And so anytime we'd get get in there to write, which we wrote a lot of different other songs that didn't pertain to SIS, that were just songs, but many times we just fell into the mode of writing towards this concept album, and so we wrote about 13 songs about this. Wow. And so I finally, we started this in the late 90s, so I finally recorded this last summer. Actually, we cut it all on the same day, August 22nd of last year, in Cowboy Jack Clement's old studio.
Oh, man.
Clement House, now they call it. Formerly known as the Cowboy Arms Hotel and Recording Spa.
Correct. You are.
And
so did you ever see Sis Draper, a picture?
oh, well, I met her. Yeah.
Oh, you did meet her?
Oh, yeah. When she came strolling in with a big beehive hairdo and a fiddle in a coffin case, opened it up and started playing these old-time tunes. Man, I thought she was a superstar, a world traveler,
Yeah.
She'd been out of Perry County,
Nice.
And it was like, man. And so we had picking parties at people's homes, and I remember one time we were out under somebody's carport, and she was there, and I was about maybe 7 or 8, and she asked, she said, "Can I have your autograph?" And I thought, I don't have what's an autograph? I didn't even have an autograph. That was the first autograph I ever signed, was to Sis Draper.
How sweet is that?
Yeah.
Now, did Grandpa date her and did Grandma hate her?
Well, I don't think it was that extreme. And we came clean in the end, that Grandpa didn't really date her, but Grandma, my mama, she was like, "Yes, Sis is here again." There was a little of that. She's going to be playing fiddle. There was a worried thing about it. She was a little concerned.
Where did that line, she's got a hell of a bow arm on her? It's almost like a throwaway line. It's in there and it's perfect.
That's just, I don't know, but it probably was Guy. I'm sure it was Guy that just, she's got a hell of a bow arm on her, like.
Shawn Camp and the Ghost of Sis Draper revisited all over the world on WSM Radio and Circle Country Television at circlecountry.com.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Oh, what a way to go to that break earlier. The Ghost of Sis Draper got a hell of a bow arm on her. It's my favorite line. Kelly Sutton got a hell of a bow arm.
I've been working on it.
This is new work from Shawn Camp, co-written with Guy Clark. The Ghost of Sis Draper comes out on the 12th, Friday the 12th. Shawn, Tim Crouch, Mike Bubb will play Harkin Hall on September the 10th.
10th, yes.
And you're they're on this album.
They are, and we'll probably play quite a few of these songs live there. It's called a Off the Rails series that they're doing at Harkin Hall. I've never even set foot in this room, but they say it's state-of-the-art theater.
Everybody brags on it.
Yeah, the Exile guys did New Year's Eve there, and they all raved about what a beautiful room it is.
The McCrary sisters just played there. A lot of folks who've been guests on the show.
Well, this is some kind of a duo series they're doing, but I wanted my buddy Mike Bubb to join us. He's the greatest, bass player we know.
Old Bubby.
And so anyway, he'll be there, and the great Tim Crouch, man, from Arkansas. He's an Arkansas fiddling legend, and I had him play on this Sis Draper album. I thought he was a great representative of the state of Arkansas, and one of my favorite fiddlers of all time.
How often do you get back home?
Rarely, a couple times a year, maybe.
You mentioned Perry County. Perryville is actually your hometown, right?
I was born in Little Rock, but raised in Perry County. I was out in the woods. We were 10 miles from Perryville, but I was in 9th grade. We moved.
So y'all were on septic.
Exactly. And a party line.
Okay.
That's good stuff there.
Yeah.
We were
That's
just talking
rich.
about everybody had to go to the dump because they didn't come and get your trash.
No.
You had to go take
it
it to the dump.
which was a curve in a dirt road up behind the mountain up there, and you go up there and throw your trash out.
Right. And
Well,
if you had a
kind
big
of prowl around too. There might be something good laying around.
you had a big appliance, you take somebody with you so they can push it off with you and get it to roll down the hill.
the appliances,
Alan Jackson.
Let me tell y'all a story quickly. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
About that. When I was about 12 years old, I bought an old '60s model Gibson piggyback bass amp for an electric guitar I was trying to learn to play. Well, I was playing it loud along with all these like ZZ Top records, and Daddy, hated that. It was too rock and roll for him, And I played bluegrass too, but I was in there loud one day, and that thing popped and blew up, and smoke started coming up. He said, "Well, you've done it now." We loaded it right in the bed of the truck and took it to the dump, not knowing I could have fixed it, man.
Throw it on down.
Sorry to interrupt you, but that's my dump story.
Alan Jackson, with whom you worked earlier in your career, had that line about a place where they used to dump trash off a Thigpen Road, and that's just a real life place and story from his growing up when Daddy let him drive.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Mentioning Alan Osborne Brothers, Susie Boggess, Trisha Yearwood along the way. It was
Shelby Lynn.
Yeah. And that was all prior to your solo career?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I couldn't keep a job. I came over here. First place I played was right in here in the Grand Ole Opry with the Osborne Brothers. It was February, maybe the 13th of 1987. I was fiddling for them.
Oh, wow.
And
so what's it like to do Rocky Top on the Opry stage? That's got to be pretty cool.
I was standing behind Sonny. And when I saw Sonny's rear end hunch inward, and we took off at about 90 miles an hour on that banjo, I thought, I am in for trouble. This is the key of B, and I'm scratching along here beside him, It was like, but what got me, initially, Hank Snow introduced it. It was on Hank's segment, and he said, "Make them welcome the Osborne Brothers," and there was a spotlight going under his toupee. And the light was just shining underneath out the back of his head. And I'm standing behind him with that fiddle bow, and I'm thinking, I'm 20 years old. I'm thinking, boy, I'd sure like to lift that. But I didn't. I wouldn't be sitting here on this radio station right now had I done that.
Well, folklore in country music tells us it happened with Chubby Wise one night, accidentally.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the song, you hear, "Chubby, you're fired."
Oh, my
Wow. I really wish I had known Hank Snow better, because I really admired his earlier work, and at the time, I had no clue of how amazing he was.
Especially his guitar work
has
forever been overlooked.
And he was such a sponge with all that old Jimmy Rogers stuff, man. He knew that old school country like nobody else did.
Well, speaking of that, let's go to a place called New Cut Road. You and I were reminiscing.
Yeah.
First time I heard this, we were playing it in Louisville, Kentucky, because it's a major thoroughfare in Louisville, New Cut Road. But it is the family history of Guy Clark. It
is. Well, this whole album is there's fiddle tune threads running throughout the whole thing. It's all kind of hinges on fiddle tunes. And Guy, when I was writing these things with him, we were kind of planning on turning this into a Broadway play. And so I've got dialogue that connects all these songs. But the first time I ever heard New Cut Road, I was standing on a stepladder with my daddy holding a piece of sheetrock up in the ceiling. We were remodeling a house. And we had a little Gilligan's Island radio sitting over here on another ladder, and it was playing the modern or current radio, country radio. And Bobby Bear came on there singing New Cut Road with Ricky Skaggs fiddling. And man, I'd been playing fiddle about 2 or 3 months at the time. And it was such an inspiration to me. And I had no idea who Guy Clark was really at that time. I'd heard L.A. Freeway and Homegrown Tomatoes, but I never knew who wrote that for a long time, But came down to Nashville, and got acquainted with Guy and became really good buddies with him. And in writing the Sis stuff, I just realized this all goes together, Right. And so I'm thrilled it's on here.
And who is Coleman Bonner to Guy?
That's Guy's granddaddy,
okay,
who stayed in Kentucky for a while playing fiddle, and then he eventually moved to Texas with everybody. And this is something nobody knows, but he ended up he fell off a train and was like dismembered, and like how he met his fate. It's a crazy end to Coleman's end, but anyway, that has no bearing on this album. But
well, that's
it might be something for the play.
Yeah. That's a bluegrass happy ending right there.
Truly.
With Shawn Camp on the Assembly Food Hall stage, his album that's coming out on September the 12th. The Ghost of Sis Draper, September the 10th. Join him along with Tim Crouch and Mike Bubb at Harkin Hall. Thanks so much, pal.
Brother, thank y'all for having
Great to
me,
see
man.
you.
It's
Yeah.
great to see y'all. And this is my first time in the new studios in Roy Acuff's home. This is a trip, man. I love it.
Sitting there in the living room.
Man.
That's right.
And Coleman Bonner said, hey, wouldn't be no Kentucky if you didn't stick to it. So here we go.
That's right.
It was more like a slideshow of things I thought I'd never get to do. My medic, Dan Smee, his version of the story was different than mine. He had carried with him that because I almost died, that he didn't do his job. Had Wounded Warrior Project not been in both of our lives, I'm petrified to know what my life would be like, or Dan's, if either one of us would still be here. I'm just so grateful that we both are.
And this weekend's Opry Live on Circle Country is brought to you by the Wounded Warrior Project. Donate now, support veterans. If you have a need, they can help. WoundedWarriorProject.org. Well, it's a new duo, Kelly. If you look at the video, they're playing the skating rink in their hometown. They've got this fictitious hometown.
Yeah.
And they go by Lamberton. They're a duet that features Miranda Lambert and Chris Stapleton in the skating rink. That's the thing.
7,387,000 streams on
okay.
Spotify alone already. So,
But when they finish their performance of a song to sing, which is my pick of the week, you hear the announcer who would be saying, "It's an old skate," and say, let's hear a big round of applause for Lamberton here tonight. A song to sing. You want to see Kelly get her groove on? Play that song.
I love that
Just put it
song.
on.
I love it.
Lamberton, all over the world on WSM Radio. Miranda Lambert, Chris Stapleton, Miranda and Jesse Frazier, who, if that thing goes to number one, will have 23 number ones. They had a writing appointment, and so he calls and says, "Hey, man, are you in town? And if so, are you available?" He calls Chris. Chris said, "Just so happens I am." So they get there, and Janae Fleener shows up. And so the four of them, by the time they got through, had that song done.
It just feels like they were listening to some like 70s,
Well,
disco, and
Really,
I love it.
it's Chris and Morgan's love story. It was inspired by their relationship.
I love that.
yeah. And Lamberton sounds better than Stapert,
Yes. Good point.
which would have been the other option, right?
Good point. Very good point.
Actually, I've said it enough now that I got to kind of catch myself, or I'll call him Lamberton.
I like it. I like where this is going.
Yeah, my pick of the week, Kelly Sutton's Entertainment, right here, right now.
All right, Lainey Wilson. Woo, she opened up her doors and Architectural Digest walked in. That's pretty fancy. She showed off her place, including all of the special touches that she had. She's got some stained glass going on. She has a room in the basement, Charlie, that she said she modeled after the jungle room. So you're walking down into her basement and she's got like some bamboo wallpaper. It's very over the top and very Lainey. Like if you walked in this house and you didn't know who lived there, you could probably guess after a few minutes of hanging out. You'd be like, "Oh, wait, yeah, I got it. I know whose this place is." But one of my favorite places was looking inside her closet. Take a listen to what she said.
This is my closet. This is where I spend a lot of my time. A lot of things come into this room and go out of this room. Every tour outfit, every press outfit. This is one of my happy places. This is where I feel creative. I've always been a sucker for bell bottoms. I remember putting them on when I was 9 years old and remember how they made me feel sassy, made me feel like I could do anything. And so I never grew out of it.
Now you know.
Bell bottoms make you feel sassy?
Yes, they do.
Okay, all right. Just
Well, I
check.
feel sassy anyway, but bell bottoms just add a little extra layer to it. So if I have my bell bottoms on, I'm sass all over the place.
Just ask her husband, Paul, who celebrated their birthday over the weekend.
Yeah, that's very true. If you want to see the entire video, you can go check it out, Architectural Digest, and they did a great job with it. So if you just want to get nosy and get all up in her business, you can check that out. Post Malone did his first fashion show. Y'all, we didn't have this on our bingo card. Check out the end of the fashion show. A horse walking into a palace in Paris. Nothing says country has come to town quite like having a horse walk down the runway, and I'm here for it. I mean, his stuff is really nice. I think everybody's going to love it. Here's Posty walking at the end, as the designers do, long neck in hand. Denim on denim, got his cowboy hat on. But as far as the looks go, I mean, I'm digging it. It is like this Western flair. It's very Dallas, very Southwest. You've got a few of these are a little much, like this big old fur coat is looking like you're going to be out in Montana in the middle of winter.
Well, if you were, you would love it.
I can rock that fur. Remember I wore Annie's at the Christmas party? I thought I rocked it personally.
You kind of.
Well, there's something to be
really
proud
could.
of.
Yeah, I'm the only one who thought I rocked it, but still, I mean.
No, I thought it looked great.
The only thing that would have topped that off, it was at Karl Lagerfeld's palace.
It was at Karl Lagerfeld's old palace, where he lived.
When the horse came in, Riders in the Sky were singing out on the Texas plains.
Ah, there we go.
Wouldn't that have been perfect?
Yes.
I love the fact that he has decided to do his own line, and then he launches it in Paris, of all places. So it is Austin Post is the name. Austin Post is the name of his line. Don't know where you can buy it just yet, but it will be coming out very soon, and he says it will be reasonably priced.
It was the one in France, not the one in Texas.
Yeah,
or the one in Tennessee.
Not the Tennessee Paris. No.
The catfish capital.
During the catfish fry. That's right. It would have been a good weekend for it, though.
Yeah, it would have.
All right, down in Dallas, Jonas Brothers' 20th anniversary. They bring out all the stops, including one of our favorites, Kelsey Ballerini. Take a listen. She's doing Peter Pan on stage with the Jonas Brothers. If you remember, she grew up with Jonas Brothers on her wall, all the posters. And then back in 2021, she actually was tour support for them. She opened their tour. And last night, back on stage with them in Dallas.
So it's like a 10-year age difference, too, you think?
I think so.
Is that about right?
Yeah, she loves them. They love her.
All right. Kelly Sutton Entertainment. We're back to wrap it up from the A-Cup House Simply Superior Studio.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
Kelly's all right. I mean, they just sat down. She's already bragging on her golf skills.
Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I told him, I said, I'm not going to be able to play this year, but hopefully you get somebody that's better than me. Mike Terry, we'll put Mike Terry in for me. He's a good golfer, isn't he?
Well, you don't want me and Charlie.
Well, you notice I didn't say either one of you.
Combined, you don't want us. Alan Herald, Glenn McLea are here. The 23rd edition of the ASIS Middle Tennessee Charity Golf Tournament that benefits the Andrew Jackson FOP Youth Camp. And this is happening at Spring Hill, right? At Towhee in Spring Hill, coming up on the 18th. So give us the backstory on how all this started and how people can be a part of it, please.
You want to start on the golf part?
No, I think that you should start on the FOP sites. It's been going on a lot longer.
The Andrew Jackson Police Youth Camp has been going on since the 70s, early 70s. And what we do, we've got 35 acres up on Old Hickory Lake, and we identify at-risk, underprivileged children. Our officers do that work the street, the Metro officers. And
you were a Metro officer.
I was. I'm retired.
How many years?
30 years. And so I just stay involved in the camp. First camp I worked was in '82 and kind of got hooked and been working with it ever since. But our officers identify the kids. We'll talk to the parents. You might answer a call there, a domestic or a fight, anything, and then we see the kids kind of scared of police. So the goal is to make these kids not be scared of us, let them know, hey, we're real people too. So we can take them up to the camp for a week. We pick them up on Monday morning. They don't go home till Saturday. And our officers stay there with them all week. We've got a bunkhouse. We've got a lodge hall that the lady from Metro Schools does all our cooking. So they're getting hot meals every day. They sleep in the bunkhouse. The officers stay in there with them. So we're mentors with them all week. They're divided into teams, so we're working on team building. They play in sports against each other, basketball, soccer, kickball, and we keep up with their scores. They have to make their beds every morning, give them some responsibilities. Then all this on Wednesday, the police entities come up. Metro helicopter flies in, K9, SWAT, Horse Patrol, motor officers. They all talk to the kids and let them know what their jobs are. Then we've got a lake where we take them kayaking, canoeing, things these kids probably never be able to do. We've got a swimming pool. They're swimming every day after they get hot, and we've got to take a good cold dip in the pool. So Saturday morning we wake up and we do an award ceremony. So every kid there, the best overall kid gets a bicycle, but every kid there leaves with something. There's no kid going to leave without something. You'll have a child come up. We used to have them come up with an old paper Kroger bag. That's their clothes. That's all they had with them. Their hose and their shoes. We go to wherever, we get them new shoes, clothes, we fix them up where when they go home, they're better than they were when they got there.
Kelly, you and I were talking about the fact that for these kids, most of them, I mean, this is their first ever experience being away from home.
Yes.
Being able to camp and do these things that you just described.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's so cool about it too, having that happen with a police presence where maybe some of these kids might actually grow up to go into law enforcement. Have you had that happen?
We have had that happen.
I wondered.
We have had that happen.
That's got to make you proud.
It is. And I've still got contacts with some kids that were in my camp in '82. Wow. And I'll tell you a quick story. He contacted me one day. They did a story on TV or something, and he said, "Y'all still give out bicycles?" I said, "Yes, we do." He said, we want to give you a bike. So him and his brother attended camp in '82. They brought a bike up and gave to us to give to the kids. The next year, he got his kids' ball team. They brought 5 bikes up. So he wanted to pay back from when they were there. But Saturday morning, when we wake the kids up, our officers are in full uniform. So they've been in camp clothes all week. So Saturday, when you get up, they're full uniform, and they're, it's different when they see you in uniform, but you've built that relationship with them all week. So if you're out on the street, I've had them, Mr. Allen, remember me from FOP camp. Yeah. So you built that relationship with them. And, I've been going through the line at Crystal years ago with my K-9 when I was working, and the guy said, "I remember you from FOP camp." He was working the window at Crystal. And that's the things that feels good when these kids years later down the road have done something and they remember you.
Making a difference.
Remember the experience.
Yeah. But it costs a lot of money to put that camp on. That's where the fundraiser comes in.
These guys have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I like to say is golf is the celebration. This has nothing to do with golf. This has everything to do with the kids of the city. This has everything to do with our police officers who are our heroes and our protectors and do so much for us here in Nashville. It's about the fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles who are all police officers and perhaps getting a bad rap, bringing them together with our future, which are our children here in the city, and be able to give back that way is huge. So ASIS, American Society for Industrial Security for Middle Tennessee, is an organization, and this is our main charity event of the year. This is what we look forward to every year, and we go out there. I went out about 10 years ago when I got involved. We were donating $1,000 to the FOP youth camp, and I had come but I was living in California and came here about 20 years ago, but when I started to work with them out in California, I was doing an event where we were donating $100,000 to the American Red Cross. That's what this tournament should be. That's what it's capable of. And if we're able to do more and more for the Andrew Jackson FOP Youth Camp, that will become more than a camp. It'll become a fall camp. It'll become Cops and Kids, which is shopping that they do with kids for Christmas time. It'll become so much more, but they need the resources, which is the money. So when people come to me and say, "Yeah, but I don't play golf," I'm like, "That's fantastic." That means that the money's going straight to the FOP. That's great. Yeah. I'm happy you don't play golf. We don't want you to play because we'd have to pay for your registration. So excellent. Donate, do something good for the community, and we'll pass that straight on through to the FOP. We're passionate about what we do. We love these guys. We've been working with Alan. The chief comes out on the day of the tournament as well to receive the check that we give. We've given probably, since I've been involved, the last 10 years, probably close to $150,000 to the FOP youth camp, and I want to see that grow more. This year, it looks like in a few weeks, we'll be giving $25,000 to $30,000 to the FOP youth camp for this coming year. So we're excited.
So Glenn, where'd you grow up?
I'm prior military, so I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss this one because I'm going to be up at my alma mater. I went to Norwich University, which is a military college in Vermont, but grew up there, and I've lived all over the world.
Well, our Charlie is a Rhode Islander.
I know he is. My mom's from Barrington, Rhode Island.
It's a very small world.
How about that?
Yeah, late summer, early fall in Vermont, or all of New England is just gorgeous.
Yeah, so I'm taking the kids up, and we're excited about that. But I'm sorry to be missing it, but it's going to be a great event. And we also really hold to the core values during the event as well. We say the Pledge of Allegiance. We pray before the tournament. So we do some really great things that holds to our roots and our faith.
Well, Glenn, we're glad you're not playing. Just donate.
Gotcha.
Perfect.
So, how do people get more information?
The Andrew Jackson Police Youth Camp has a Facebook page.
Okay.
They can go to it. You can actually go to it and see activities that we've done at every camp. I try to post update every day of what the kids did that day. Right now, we're doing I've got a contracting company, or PDN Construction is doing donation work for us, and they're been up there for months redoing a ball field. We got a synthetic turf ball field, and they've been hole ramming, jackhammering rock out, and redoing the outfield, making it nicer for the kids. So this time of year, we try to fix things to make it better. But you can get on the Andrew Jackson Police Youth Camp Facebook page. There's a link there, a PayPal link. They can direct straight to our PayPal account. We are a 501c3 charitable organization, so we're tax deductible. If you need a good tax write-off, we're there for you. I'd be glad for them to call the office at 615-831-2464. Tell them to ask the secretary to get in touch with me, and I'll be glad to talk to them about the camp.
Alan, where'd you grow up?
Right here.
So you mean you've made it from Donaldson to Opryland, USA in your lifetime?
I actually found it, yes. I live, where the Marriott is, over on Ermac Drive, or Marriott Drive. I was there since the 3rd grade. So this is home. This is home. My wife that worked down here at the Opry, she lived right off of Lebanon Road and Briley Parkway. So we're all right here.
This is Donaldson unicorn.
That's it.
They are hard to come by. Well, to you both, thank you for the work you're doing and for coming to see us and sharing your story this morning.
Thanks for doing this for us, and any help can. One thing, I've got a minute.
Yeah, sure.
We do the Cops and Kids event. So these kids that went to camp during the summer, we stay in contact with them. Last year, I took 106 kids shopping for Cops and Kids. We take them shopping at Walmart. The officers pick them up at home. Then we take them over to our lodge, which is off of Welshwood Drive. We wrap all their presents. Hunt Brothers Pizza feeds them lunch. Mission Barbecue has drinks and desserts for them. And all this is donated, and we pay for every kid to have a good Christmas and send them home.
That's
and
nice.
It does not get better than that.
That's fun stuff when you got these kids and their eyes just big. What do you want to buy? You got $250. Let's go buy what you want.
That's cool.
23rd annual ASIS Middle Tennessee Charity Golf Tournament benefiting the Andrew Jackson FOP Youth Camp, and it's happening on Thursday, the 18th of September. So you got a little time to make plans at the Towee Club. Arnold Palmer designed, as I understand it.
Yes, sir.
In Spring Hill. That's great. And our guest this morning, Alan Herald, 30 years as a Metro police officer, and Glenn McLea. Thank you so much for coming to see us.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.